Hello everybody, it's black to play in this position. Black is about to make a queen and white is about to make a queen as well. Okay? I want you to find a nice and simple winning move for black. How would you win this position with the black pieces? If you're a human, I'm pretty sure you would find the move bishop e5, which simply stops the pawn. And we say, you know what, we'll make a queen on the next turn. This is the simplest and the most human way to win this game, correct? Now, if you look at the engine will tell you that there's a quicker way to win for black. And the engine says we should make a queen and we should let white to make a queen and then go check and then do this check and then do this mate. Okay? It's actually objectively this leads to objectively quicker mate for black. But how would human play this position? Well, my student played bishop e5 in a classical game and won. And I'm pretty sure most of you came up with this move relatively fast. That's a human winning move. I'm also doing this video, folks, to help you not to confuse yourself when you check the engine lines, right? Let's say you finish this game and after the game you look with the engine, you analyze your game with the engine and the engine tells you, hey, you made a mistake, there was a faster finish, right? The engine will tell you that f1 equals queen is a better move here compared to bishop e5. But that's not a human move. Right? So in those cases, you should not be too harsh on yourself. You should understand the human difficulty of certain moves. We don't play chess like engines, right? Engines as of 2024 doesn't tell us the human difficulty of the lines, right? They will spit out lines objectively, this is better, this is the best, but it has no information about how difficult for a human to calculate those lines, right? It gives us zero information about the difficulty, human difficulty of certain moves. Another position that surprised me when I saw the engine recommendation. Here, black is completely winning with an extra rook and an extra bishop, okay? And white goes crazy, desperado move, rook takes g7. All right, so I want you to take a step back right now, stop the video and find the simplest solution for black. What's the simplest and the most human way to win this position with the black pieces, folks? How would you play with black? Now, I will show you the human solution first, because to me, this is by far the simplest solution. First of all, you don't take the rook, because if you take the rook, can you tell me, folks, queen g5 check, and this is just a perpetual, right? We should always blunder check our moves. Obviously, white was counting on that, right? White was counting on this when he took on g7, but we are not playing checkers, we are playing chess. So the most human move to me is rook g8. Congratulations if you also came up with this move relatively quickly, folks. You neutralize all of white's activity. You're also stopping queen h6 just in case you're about to curious about the threat you're facing, right? You're stopping queen h6 threat, you neutralize that rook, and suddenly your rook, right, becomes active on the only open file. So again, the game is over, right? White has no moves left, and after takes, well, extra rook, the white king is not safe, white must resign. You see how simple this is? There are just no lines to calculate. The game is completely over. You gave zero counterplay to your opponent by simply going rook g8. This is so human, this is so understandable, but this is not the best move according to the engine. That's the problem. When you ask the engine says black should take on b2 in this position. What the hell? I don't get this move at all. I still don't fully get it, right? So now suddenly you try to understand what the engine is thinking about. Who plays chess like this, you know? Well, apparently the point is this. After king takes b2, queen d4 check, queen d4 check. After c3, you do rook b8 check. And apparently, somehow, your attack is coming earlier and faster than the white's attack on the king side. You threaten queen b1 mate, and after king d1, only now you take the rook. This is totally beyond human capacity and imagination, folks, because even here, right, you need to calculate queen g5 check, king f8, queen a6, king e7, and suddenly, right, after f6, check, king e6, and only now, right, king d6, there are no more checks left. And black is completely winning. You improved on the other line. You're also up a rook, by the way, on the other line. You improved on that line by displacing the white king and organizing your pieces on the queen side. This is what the engine tells you from this position that you should play after rook g7. Don't confuse yourself, folks, please, right? We don't play chess like this. So when you see such recommendations from the engines, always double check, always use your judgment of how difficult for a human is to find those moves. Is it even needed? And that's the meta question, right? Do I even need to take on b2 here? To my human eye, that's completely irrelevant in this position. To calculate lines like this, you're wasting your time, you're making your task much more difficult, right? We humans don't play chess like that. Yes, sometimes we go for the, the least resistance in life. Yeah, we want to go for solutions it doesn't require so much energy, right? To be efficient. Not always the best, by the way, but sometimes that actually is useful, just like here, right? As long as you're satisfied with this simple move, rook g8, which you should be because you're an extra rook, by the way, and you're stopping all the counterplay, well, who cares? Who needs to even spend any time on these irrelevant lines? The same idea can also hold in pure pawn endgames, folks. Here it's black to move, black is an extra pawn. I want you to formulate the simplest and the most human winning plan for black. How would you win this position with the black pieces? You can stop the video and think for yourself first. Folks, the simplest plan for black is simply to improve the king, right? Move the king up first. Do not hurry. Make them into Zugzwang with the move h5. White has no moves left. The king has to give way. And then you start pushing the pawn to be able to make use of your majority on the queen side, right? 3 versus 2. Takes, and the rest is so easy to understand, right? You improve your king, the opponent king is in a Zugzwang, you can even push the pawn directly and use that pawn as a decoy while you win the game on the king side. This is the most human, simple and stupid solution for black, right? There is nothing complicated about this. You follow chess principles, right? That's how we win with extra material in a pawn endgame, usually. Simple and boring and the most efficient. In the actual game, black player went c5 in this position, probably following one of the aphorisms in chess or recommendations that you should start with the candidate first, right? Nimzowitsch said that when you want to create pass pawns, he usually recommended us to push the candidate first, and that's a candidate pawn, right? Because that's an unopposed pawn. Black has an extra c pawn, white has no c pawn. So to his mind, probably that was his candidate pawn, that he wanted to push the guy first to be able to hopefully create a pass pawn. But if you look deeper, well, look at those pawns, right? Those 2 pawns are freezing black's 3 pawns in the structure. Black made this task much more difficult to create a pass pawn on the queen side after c5, plus his king is still on f7, and suddenly king d3, king c4s are coming, king b5s are coming, and oh my god. Now, black went for a race. Black went for a race, and black was lucky. I made a video about luck in chess. Black was lucky in this case, I would say, that he was still winning this race because of the extra tempo, right? He's winning this race because of this extra move. So black won this race because of this extra tempo, but who needed to calculate this from the initial position? That's my question. It was completely needless for black to go for this line, folks. It takes all the mental effort, capacity, resources, working memory. You make your task much more difficult. As Josef Dorfman says, don't win the same game twice, please. You have a much easy and boring win from this position. Why are you making your task more difficult? Just play this, improve your king, take it from there. Simple chess, right? By going c5, he made his task much more difficult. He needed to calculate all these lines. I hope he saw the entire sequence before he chose for this race line. I hope. Otherwise, he really got lucky if he entered this line blindly. I will leave you guys with this homework position. We are doing a retrieval practice as well. In this position, the black king is not safe and white is attacking chances. Look at the battery, right, between those 2 pieces. I will give you 2 choices here. Which one would you play in the actual game? Would it be knight e4 or bishop g5, right? Because the point of this position is this. This knight on f6 is the key defender, right? This is the only good piece in the black's camp defending the black king. Obviously, you want to remove this knight. My question is, would you go knight e4 or bishop g5? Okay? Both of these options seem to be interesting moves. Both might be winning for white. But what would be your solution here in a practical context? Please analyze both moves. Please try to understand what's going on after both of these moves. And please write to me on YouTube which will be your solution and why. Okay? I hope you enjoyed this episode, folks. I did it again, right, to help you in a practical sense, to help the decision-making process, but also, right, don't fool yourselves, please, when you check your games with the engine. Engines don't tell you the human difficulty yet. Maybe they will be at some point, but right now they have zero information about how difficult for a human to find those moves. So again, you have to use your human judgment. A coach will be useful here, right? You can go through the games with your coach and you can lay down your thoughts to your coach so he can give you feedback in terms of mental process and not only on the moves. And again, if you like similar content, please give me a like and subscribe so I can produce more of such content. That's very important for me, guys, that your support of likes and subscribes. I hope you can do that. Really appreciate it. If you want to gain more information about this, check my Chessable courses, especially Chess Crime and Punishment has similar problems and features on top processes of human chess. And I will catch you on the very next episode, folks. Waiting for your feedback on YouTube. Thank you so much.